This is about the tensioner of a FAF 30 sewing machine and a FAF 130 sewing machines. They got the same kind of tensioner. Perhaps there were some small changes of it through the production years. But we are going to dismantle it and assemble it again and talk a little about it. First, I like to go a little closer and explain a little about it. It's quite straightforward. You can fasten the tension or loosen the tension with a dial here. But down here you got another lever, and it is for the check spring. The check spring is this one here, and it is pulling the thread slack in. Now you see the check spring is operating as it should when I pull the thread here, and it pulls in the slack of the thread. And with this lever here you can alter the tension of this check spring. So now it's a little harder to pull it, and it will pull harder in the thread. It can be necessary if you use thicker thread to use a harder position there. But now we start to dismantle it. And here we got this knot, and I put on this small washer here so I could increase the tension a little. And here you got the beehive spring and a cup there, and you got two tension discs here. They are equal. You should look for any damage on these surfaces, and these seems okay. I'd like you to be aware of this screw there. It is so that you can change the stroke of the check spring, and if you loosen this screw you can move this arrangement to the left and fasten it again, and now you got a smaller stroke of this check spring. To go further, I prefer to take off all of the tensioner. So I'll start to do that. These two screws, and in this way I can remove the tensioner from the machine. The next thing I will do is to take off this post, and it got a lock screw there, so I will loosen this lock screw, and when I do that I can remove the post here. It have got this small pin, that is the pressure release pin. It can be taken out this way. And then I will move this check spring down here, this steel part there. So now it's free there. And then I will remove this screw. And now I'm going to remove this part, and I am turning this part back and forth at the same time I'm pulling it up. So now I got it loose. It is actually kind of a spring because it got a slot there, so it's you can press it a little together there, and this spring-like operation will make friction to the drum in here. I can go on to remove the check spring here. I do that I press it through here, the hole, and take it out this way. Then I can remove this outer part, so I remove this screw there. I think these two screws are the same. And then you can remove this too. The final thing to do is to take out this set screw. And now it is completely dismantled, and if you want to clean it, you can do that in wash soda, for instance, to take away all the old yellow stuff on them or something like that. Now I'm going to assemble the tensioner again, and it is exactly the same, just opposite. First I put on this set screw, and then it went in. Then I will put on this. You can find videos on YouTube on how to adjust this stroke of the check spring. And now I'm going to set in this check spring. It got a little peculiar form here. I have to say that it was completely wrong when I got it, so I actually took off one winding and bent it again. So it is okay actually to take out one winding, and it will still operate okay. Now I am going to put it in, and I put it in this way here. In a way it goes backwards in here. And then there's a little slot here for this end of the check spring, the other end, so it is fixed in this little hole. There is another place too, this place, that also could be the place for this, but I think this is a better place than this, but I'm not sure. So it's just to make you aware of that. Okay, then put this one on, and I do it like this, and I press it half down like this, and then I will put this little holder on here. It is holding on this lever and ensures that it is kept down and is not moved upwards, but it can be a little hard to place it here below. Now I've placed it, and then I can press this further down. There. Now it's pressed down, and now I can fix this little bracket with a screw. And I push this bracket upwards here and fasten it. And if it can be pressed further down, I'll do that, but I think it's okay now. Okay, then I will loosen this check spring as much as I can, and then I move it around here and down and around this part there, and then it goes back and against the it's stopped there. So now it's placed. And then as the last thing I will put in this. This pin got 2 ends. One is flattened. Go in here like this, and then I'll go into this like this. And it will normally be so that it's horizontal when it's on there. So I place it like this, and then I'll fasten the screw there. That's the screw. Okay. And it can be easier just to put all the other things on now. So I will do that. This is the 2 tension discs. This coupe with markings on it, tension markings. The beehive spring. The little washer I use to increase tension a little. And then I put on this. And now I'll go up and fasten it on the machine with the 2 screws here. Okay, finished.